There is something more dangerous than failure. It is losing your own self-respect. You can lose money. You can lose a relationship. You can lose an opportunity. But when you start lowering your value just to be accepted, when you stay silent in the face of disrespect, when you turn yourself into an option just to avoid being left, you are paying far too high a price. Self-respect is not arrogance. It is a boundary. It is the inner voice that says, I deserve more than this. The world will treat you exactly the way you allow it to. If you do not stand up for yourself, no one will do it for you. So today, before you seek validation from others, do one thing. Stop accepting what makes you feel less than you are. Do you want to hear an uncomfortable truth? Honesty will not make you famous. It will not make everyone like you. And it will definitely cost you more than a few relationships. But honesty will help you keep the one thing that matters most: your own value. Some people spend their whole lives trying to please others. They say what others want to hear. They smile when they are not happy. They agree while they disagree inside. They stay silent when disrespected. And slowly, they lose themselves just to trade for temporary acceptance. The truth is, you do not need many people to like you. You need the right people to respect you. Honesty does not mean being rude. Honesty is not saying every thought in your head. Honesty is living in alignment between what you think, what you say, and what you do. It means not doing something today that forces you to invent a lie tomorrow to cover it. When you start lowering your standards just to keep someone around, you place yourself on the discount shelf. And once you price yourself cheap, do not be surprised when others try to bargain for you. Never turn someone into a priority while you are only an option. Do not put someone on a pedestal and then blame yourself when they look down on you. Self-respect begins when you understand what you deserve and are willing to walk away when it is not returned. Some people will not like your directness. Some will call you difficult, hard to approach, or too rigid. But remember, the ones who truly fit your life will not fear clarity. They will appreciate it. Sometimes people give advice based on their fears. They tell you to play it safe, to shrink, to stand out less. But if you live by someone else's perspective, you hand them the steering wheel of your life. You only have this one life, and you do not owe your younger self perfection, but you owe your present self honesty. Honest with your feelings, honest with your goals, honest with your boundaries. Do not promise what you do not intend to deliver. To you, it may be just words to end a conversation, but to someone else it may be their trust. Your actions will always speak louder than words, and people will look at how you treat yourself to decide how they treat you. If you accept disrespect, you are teaching others that it is acceptable. If you stay silent when you are belittled, you are confirming that you deserve it. Your self-worth does not come from how many people approve of you. It comes from whether you dare to live true to yourself. You may lose a few people along the way, but the ones who stay will be the ones who do not need you to pretend. And believe me, fewer but real is always better than many but fake. Because when you stand firm in your honesty, you are not just building a reputation, you are building character. And character is the only thing that stays with you for a lifetime. Do you know what is quietly destroying your life right now? Not an enemy, not circumstances, but the uncontrolled thoughts inside your own head. You may not control what others think. You cannot control who decides to leave. You also cannot control everything that happens. But you can always control how you respond. And that is the greatest power you will ever have. Many wrong decisions in life do not come from lack of intelligence. They come from temporary emotions. 1 minute of anger. One sentence that wounds for a lifetime. One day of sadness. One decision that destroys many years. Loving the wrong person. Placing them on a pedestal. Then wondering why you are treated as less. Never make a permanent decision based on a temporary emotion. Fear does not show up to stop you. It appears to remind you that something matters. Fear means you care. Fear means you are standing at a turning point. And every time you step through fear, you expand your own limits. You do not drown because you fall into water. You drown because you refuse to swim. Overthinking is a sweet trap. You think you are analyzing, but you are making everything worse. You think you are preparing, but you are delaying. Life is not that complicated. Your thoughts are what make it complicated. If something makes you angry, ask yourself, will I still remember this in 10 years? If the answer is no, then it is not worth your energy today. Happiness is not something you search for outside. It is not in other people's approval. It is not in the eyes of the crowd. Happiness begins when you stop comparing the backstage of your life to someone else's highlight reel. People are not thinking about you as much as you imagine. Everyone is busy fighting their own battles. So why live in anxiety about their opinions? Instead of trying to change others, change yourself. Instead of waiting for motivation, take action. Because action creates clarity. You cannot think yourself into a better version. You must act to become it. Commitment helps you start. Consistency helps you go far. Persistence helps you overcome everything. And remember, you are the only person who can be both your greatest friend and your greatest saboteur. Every day you choose which side you stand on. Today, ask yourself, will you keep letting emotions control you? Or will you learn to control your emotions if you choose to take ownership of your life? Comment number 1. If you are still letting circumstances control you. Comment number 2. The decision is small, but the direction of your life is inside it. In the previous section, we talked about mastering your emotions. Before that, we talked about honesty and self-worth. But there is a next step that very few people dare to take. Learning to stand alone. Because you cannot keep your self-respect if you are afraid of loneliness. And you cannot master your emotions if your happiness depends on someone else. The truth is, many people are not in love. They are just afraid of being alone. They do not stay because they are aligned. They stay because they feel empty. They accept being overlooked just to avoid facing the silence. But loneliness is not scary. Dependence is when you need someone to feel whole. You hand them control over your mood. A single text can make you happy all day. One silence can ruin your entire week. And like that, you are not living. You are waiting. Learning to be alone is not isolating yourself from the world. It is building an inner strength solid enough that when someone enters your life, they are an addition, not a rescue. Do not make anyone the center of your happiness, because when they leave, you will feel like you lost everything, when the truth is, you only lost one person, not yourself. There are relationships you must release, not because you no longer love, but because you love yourself more than the pain. Letting go is not weakness. Letting go is maturity. And sometimes, the best thing you can do is stop explaining. Stop proving. Stop trying to be understood. Not everyone needs to know your story. Not everyone is mature enough to understand it. Living privately is not secrecy. It is protecting your energy. The people who truly care will look at actions, not your public words, and you should do the same. Let other people's actions speak for them. Words can be polished. Actions cannot. When you are strong enough alone, you will start choosing people for their values, not from a place of lack. You will choose those who speak well of you behind your back and dare to correct you to your face. You will understand that not everyone who comes will stay, and not everyone who leaves is a loss. Some people leave your life not to hurt you, but to create space for something better to enter. And when you accept that, you will stop chasing. You will stop begging. You will stop lowering your standards just to keep someone around. You begin to understand that you are betraying yourself because you cannot please everyone and still keep your identity. Standing alone requires courage, but that courage will lead you to the next step, the step we will talk about next, taking action and building your own life. Because when you have protected your self-worth, mastered your emotions, and no longer fear loneliness, you are ready to move forward. When you have protected your self-respect, when you have learned to master your emotions, when you are strong enough to stand alone, then this is the most important question. What are you going to do with your life? Because understanding does not change your life. Action is what changes your life. Many people love hearing motivational words. They nod. They agree. They feel inspired. But then, nothing changes. Tomorrow is still the same old habits, the same familiar delays, the same safe excuses. You cannot think yourself into a new life. You must act yourself into a new life. Clarity does not come from sitting still and analyzing for 6 more months. Clarity comes when you start moving, when you try, when you fail, when you adjust, when you keep going. Commitment helps you begin. Consistency helps you improve. Persistence helps you push through the days you want to quit. And trust me, there will be many days like that. There will be days you doubt yourself. Days you see others moving faster. Days you wonder if you are on the wrong path. But every new level of life will demand a new version of you. If you do not change, your life will not change. Do not wait for the perfect moment. It does not exist. Do not wait to feel confident. Confidence comes after you start. Do not wait for others to support you. Most of them will not understand you at first. You cannot swim into a new ocean while still gripping the old shore. There is a great risk in life. You must avoid at all costs the risk of doing nothing. Staying still feels safe, but staying still too long turns into stagnation. And stagnation kills potential faster than failure ever will. Failure does not kill dreams. Quitting kills dreams. If you fall, learn how to fall the right way. Learn how to rise faster than before. Every mistake is tuition. And if you are willing to learn, you never truly lose. Do not let the past limit your future. Do not let old memories decide new possibilities. You are not the person you were last year. You have more experience, more lessons, more endurance. Life is a series of dots you create each day. Maybe today you do not understand why you must walk this path. But in a few years, you will look back and see how everything connected. So instead of asking, "Can I really do this?" ask, "What is the smallest step I can take today?" Not 5 years from now, not next month. Today, one call, one page of planning, 1 hour of training, one decisive choice. Do not try to change your entire life in one night. Change your direction in one day, because in the end, your life is not defined by intention. It is defined by repeated action. And if you are truly serious about becoming your better self, then do not just listen. Do not just agree. Begin right now. But there will come a time when, even after you have acted, tried, changed, life still knocks you down. And that is when true character is tested. Anyone is strong when things are smooth. Anyone is confident when they are winning. But your real self is revealed when everything falls apart. There will be seasons when you feel like you've hit bottom. Plans fail. Relationships break. Work stalls. Faith shakes. You will ask yourself, why me? But there is a truth few people tell you. Hardship does not come to destroy you. It comes to shape you. Carbon under pressure becomes diamond. Muscles grow only through resistance. And a person matures only when forced to be strong. You don't drown because you fall into water. You drown because you stay there. Pain is unavoidable, but prolonged suffering is a choice. If you keep clinging to what is lost, you will miss what is coming. Some doors close not to end you, but to force you onto a different path. Some people leave not to break you, but to make you realize you are stronger than you imagined. You have survived every bad day before. You have made it through moments that once felt impossible. You have never completely failed because you are still here. Remember that. When you are in the storm, you cannot see the sky, but the sky never disappeared. It is only temporarily hidden. And when the storm passes, you will not be the same person who walked into it. The days you feel like doing nothing are the days you must take the smallest step forward, not to prove anything to anyone, but to prove to yourself that you do not quit. Do not wait for inspiration. Do not wait for motivation. Do not wait for better circumstances. Strength does not come from never falling. It comes from rising one more time. Maybe you cannot control what happened, but you control what happens next. You can choose to be a victim of circumstances, or the one who learns from them. And every time you choose to continue, even one tiny step, you are building a stronger version of yourself. Life is risky by nature, but the greatest risk is not failure. The greatest risk is not daring to live fully because you fear failure. Do not let fear freeze you. Do not let the past hold you back. Do not let others define your limits. Hardship may slow you down, but it has no right to finish you. And one day, when you look back, you will realize the years that seemed the worst were the years that forged you the strongest. The storm does not come to drown you. It comes to teach you how to sail. And you are far stronger than you think. So after everything, after the times you fought to keep your self-respect when you were dismissed, after the times you learned to control your emotions instead of letting them control you, after the days you stood alone with no one backing you up, after the moments you chose action even while afraid, and even the times you walked out of adversity with wounds still unhealed in the end, it all comes down to one thing: choice. It sounds simple, but that simplicity is exactly why so many people underestimate it. Your life is not decided by the circumstances you were born into, not decided by the person who walked away, not decided by the times you failed, not decided by what others think about you. It is decided by the choices you repeat every single day, especially when no one is watching. Do you choose honesty or do you choose approval? Do you choose to protect your boundaries or break them to be accepted? Do you choose to master your emotions or let them run you? Do you choose to act or delay one more time? Do you choose to grow from pain or stay trapped inside it? Every day, whether you realize it or not, you are casting a vote for the person you are becoming. Not once, not twice, but hundreds, thousands of times. No one wakes up and becomes a worse version of themselves overnight. They simply make small misaligned decisions for many days in a row. One time ignoring a principle, one time compromising a value, one time delaying what must be done, then once more, and once more, until they no longer recognize who they are. And on the other hand, no one changes their life because of one inspiring moment. No one becomes wealthy from hearing one speech. No one becomes disciplined from watching one video. They change through small actions, repeated consistently, even when no one applauds, even when no one gives recognition. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to be consistent. You do not need to see the entire road ahead. You only need to take the next step. Maybe today you are not where you want to be. Maybe you are still struggling with work, with money, with relationships, with the thoughts inside your own mind. Maybe you are still afraid, still doubtful, still unsure of yourself. But remember this, you do not need every answer to begin. You only need enough courage not to return to the old version of you. Who is that old version? The one who easily compromises personal values. The one who delays and then justifies it. The one who lives by other people's opinions. The one who waits for motivation instead of building discipline. Life does not promise to be easy. It also does not promise to be fair in the way you expect. But it is always fair in one way. You will receive exactly what you consistently do. If you constantly compare, you will constantly feel dissatisfied. If you constantly complain, you will constantly feel stuck. If you constantly delay, you will constantly regret. If you constantly practice discipline, you will constantly progress. If you constantly learn, you will constantly expand your limits. Time moves forward, whether you change or not. It does not wait for you to be ready. It does not wait for you to be less afraid. It does not care whether you feel confident enough yet. The real question is not how old you will be in 5 years. The real question is who you will become in 5 years. Someone still saying, "What if?" Or someone saying, "I am glad I started." Do not let the fear of loss cost you more time. Do not let the past occupy your present. Do not let other people live your life while you play a side role in your own story. From beginning to now, everything we have talked about, self-respect, emotions, action, adversity revolves around one single axis, personal responsibility. You are responsible for your boundaries. You are responsible for your reactions. You are responsible for your discipline. You are responsible for the environment you choose to stay in. And ultimately, you are responsible for your future. That might feel like pressure, but it is also the best news you could ever hear. Because if you are responsible, you also have the power to change. No one is coming to save you, but you do not need anyone to save you. You are not so weak that you must wait for a miracle. You are not so helpless that you cannot begin again. It only takes one clear decision. I will not live another year the same as the last. I will not repeat old choices while expecting new results. I will not blame circumstances while I still have the ability to act. And now, I want you to be honest with yourself, not with me, not with anyone else, with yourself. If you are truly ready to take responsibility for your life, ready to change from the smallest things, ready to accept that every future result begins with today's choice, then comment, "I agree." And if you feel that you are still hesitating, still afraid, still not fully committed to stepping out of the old version of yourself, that is okay too. Change cannot be forced, but be honest. Come on, I am not ready. At least you are brave enough to admit where you stand right now. Because the journey of change does not start with perfection. It does not start with motivation. It starts with one clear decision, and that decision is in your hands.